Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about some altcoins, some competitors to Ethereum that may actually produce more gains in the next bull run. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Now, if you have not yet joined us in Discord, the link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. And if you are looking for more from the crypto space, why not check out the Patreon services as well. We offer a lot more for our Patreon members via the Discord server, so why not check those out. Okay, let's make a start, right? And it's an interesting one. And first of all, I want to start off with this. Okay, so let's bring this up on the screen here. So it's an analyst that many people know, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗂𝗧𝗧, and he's basically saying buy these three Ethereum competitors for massive profits in a really short period of time. And he's not wrong by these, but I do have some interesting kind of things that I want to kind of communicate about them. Okay, so first of all, he's kind of got his list together, things that you should potentially be buying and all of that, and we can kind of go through some of this in a little bit of detail, and I'll also link it into the description below if you're interested. Basically, the three Ethereum competitors 𝗕𝗕𝗪𝗂𝗧𝗧 wants to buy are Chainlink, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪, and Scale. Now, these are not actually competitors, okay? So we want to kind of park some of that stuff for a second, because Link is not a competitor to Ethereum. They're doing vastly different things. Now, Chainlink is actually on Ethereum, so we know it's not a competitor. So some of the terminology in this article is a little bit foolish, but that being said, we'll go through what else is being said in here, because there are some actual gems that you guys may or may not be aware of, okay? So some of that I definitely do agree with. Some of the terminology, on the other hand, maybe not so much. Now, apparently he has 636,000 followers. Apparently that's supposed to give you credibility or something like that. I'm not sure. On Twitter. And basically his plans to acquire CCD, 𝗕𝗓, and 𝗕𝗛𝗓. Those three I can get. Make a little more sense. So maybe the Link and 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗓 and Scale, I don't know. Anyway, nonetheless, top coins I'll be accumulating, he says. Scale, SKL, CCD, Link, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗓, 𝗕𝗓, 𝗕𝗛𝗓. What about you? So yeah, for me, absolutely, right? Link is right up there. So, and it comes to Oracle-based platforms that are providing real-world data on-chain, there's only really a handful of them that are, really sizable, and then there's one that is just an absolute beast. That is Chainlink, right? Now, it's incredibly volatile. And this comes down to the fact of its use case, okay? So when we start thinking about the things that require real-world data to be put on chain, you have to think about people actually requiring that data, okay? So we think about DeFi and we think about price feeds and things like that, simple stuff. But, with the increase in DeFi applications, or use of DeFi applications more specifically, increases the requirement for real-world data. And when you require real-world data, you're going to be having to use an Oracle. And an Oracle that has over 1,000 integrations, Chainlink. So it makes sense that when adoption starts, or let's say adoption, but when demand starts to really pick up for the crypto space, Chainlink is going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's going to fly. But whilst those volumes are down, unfortunately, it has suffered a mighty blow. So right now, Link is reasonably cheap, but I do think it's going to be even cheaper in the near future too. So I think there's going to be some fantastic buying opportunities for Chainlink, and I do think that it is going to be phenomenally successful in the bull run as that demand comes in. So totally agree with Link. Now, 𝗕𝗏𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. 𝗕𝗏𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 has done remarkably well in 2021. I do think it is going to do incredibly well in the next kind of bull run, whether that's 2023 or 2024. Who knows how long this thing's going to last in the bear market, but essentially the price has come down reasonably well. We were just spiking up over $500 last year, and right now I think we're hovering around that kind of $50 to $60 range. So I still think there's actually going to be a significant pullback on 𝗕𝗏𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, and I do think we're still going to see some pretty good rates. My kind of thoughts haven't really changed with this, and I do think that we are going to see a significant reduction in price that's going to mean some decent accumulation zones in the future. And as a result, I think 𝗕𝗛𝗓 is a pretty good way of kind of, hedging against, other kind of smart contract platforms. It's a little bit unknown. They don't do amazingly well in terms of interviewing on various different channels, although we have offered to kind of have Benjamin on the channel to kind of go through an interview with him. Maybe he will do that in the coming future. Who knows? But more from the marketing side, I think would be fantastic from 𝗕𝗚𝗚𝗚. That being said, they've done a fantastic job up to date so far. So let's see how progress goes. But yeah, Elrond's 𝗕𝗚𝗚𝗚, I do think is going to be incredibly successful in the future. Limited supply, not too dissimilar to that of Bitcoin. There's 21 million, and then there's 10 million for validating rewards, I believe. So total of 31 million distribution over X amount of time. So it does look very, very juicy from that kind of point of view. CCD, I don't actually generally know too much about it, but I do want to kind of call out Near Protocol also being something that I think is going to do incredibly well. I do think that Near has some serious potential to it as well. Now, Near is not one that I have in my portfolio. Link, I do. Elrond, I do. Maybe I'll add Near. Maybe I will. I don't know. It's one of those. I do think there's a limit to how many you can actually manage successfully in this space. You can't just have a portfolio of 50 coins. It becomes too much to kind of keep up to date with everything that is going on with them. So I would love to add Near to my portfolio. I'm not sure if I will yet though. But watch this space. Things change quite rapidly here in crypto. So Near Protocol, I'd get it. It's a fantastic one. I do think it's going to be successful. Again, I do think there's going to be some cheaper pricing in the near future. So I wouldn't be FOMOing in right away or anything like that. But I do think that there is some potential there. So let's see what else is being spoken about by 𝗤𝗓𝗓𝗄 van der Poel. He's obviously got some predictions around Bitcoin in here. As well, and it's also kind of talking about CCD. It's expanding greatly beyond its initial target market, bringing it ample opportunity to grow in the near future, whereas its targeted enterprises first is currently looks to attract many projects and users across industries, including DeFi, gaming, and metaverse. So maybe CCD will do reasonably well. He's also kind of mentioned Quant in here as well. Quant is also something that I am looking at. But I do think it's actually an impulsive kind of zigzag pattern, so 535, and I think essentially that's going to break down. So I still think cheaper prices will be had on things like Quant as well. I haven't really looked at the charts for CCD to know more specifically what is going on with that one, but it does look pretty interesting. I mean, other ones to kind of think about as well, outside of the list that 𝗤𝗓𝗓𝗄 van der Poel has been communicating here. Yes, I agree with Link, Near, and 𝗕𝗚𝗚𝗚𝗚, but I think that's also worth adding in some slightly higher risk but higher reward altcoins as well. Not necessarily competitors with Ethereum, but bringing in some kind of different level of industry into your portfolio, right? So, for example, artificial intelligence, we like AGIX really well. I think it's going to do well. We also have spin-offs from them, right? So you've got 𝗕𝗚𝗪, which is a DeFi protocol built or spun off from SingularityNet using artificial intelligence and machine learning for DeFi purposes. And it's really interesting stuff. So I'd look at that personally. But also, there's a whole host of things. I mean, I noticed that Cardano isn't mentioned here. Algorand is not mentioned here. Polkadot is not mentioned here. I mean, these are a bit of a no-brainers when it comes to thinking about competitors to Ethereum, yet not mentioned in this list. Now, I do agree that you've got 𝗕𝗚𝗚𝗚𝗚 and Elrond and things like these that are, ones that also maybe are not as known as the others, but I think you can't really mention one without mentioning the other. So Cardano is a bit of a no-brainer. Have that in the portfolio. Polkadot, I'm not as sold on it as much as Chris is, but I think recent changes with Polkadot could actually be a real positive. So I do have it in a portfolio. And Algorand, I have it in the portfolio, but it's underwhelming. Whether or not anything is really going to happen there, I'm not sure, but the technology is very, very good. And of course, you then have those kind of outliers, right? The ones that maybe people will get a little bit too confused with. And you have to kind of consider Avalanche as well, right? And so there's a lot of really fantastic kind of smart contract platforms out there outside of Ethereum. And trying to narrow that down becomes quite difficult. So yes, I agree that Elrond is going to do reasonably well. I think Near is going to do reasonably well, but we can't just kind of remove some of the others that are doing and have done phenomenally well already and gaining even more market share in the smart contract sector. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Cardano really does take a leap forward. We kind of spoke about it becoming the third largest NFT platform now, as well as many of the other things that are going on with telemedicines and things like that. So there's a lot going on the Cardano ecosystem you cannot ignore. Likewise with Polkadot, there's a lot going on there, layer 0, and I do think that Polkadot has a pretty bright future. I just don't know whether or not it's going to be in the next cycle or not. Chris believes it will be, but we'll see how that kind of goes. Elrond, I think, will do well, but as I said, it needs more marketing in my opinion. Near, I think, will do well, but again, same problem as Elrond, eGold. So yeah, I think the list isn't too bad. It's not too far off. Obviously, you've got things that are not, competitors like Link. They do very vastly different, and I think they will do incredibly well as well. But yeah, those are my thoughts on those guys. I think essentially there's a pocket of really good protocols out there that you should potentially do some more research on. My top 3 for this one, I would say research things like Avalanche. I think Avalanche has such amazing technology, but doesn't really get that kind of spotlight shown on it all that much. Elrond eGold, again, same scenario, just needs to do more on the marketing side. And I think that, ADA, it has to be there, right? And a lot of people don't fully understand the actual fundamental foundation of Cardano, and they get confused with all the nonsense and the noise out there. But in terms of smart contract platforms, those are the 3 that I think I would be doing more research on if I did not already have a good, solid understanding of them. Guys, I'm going to leave this right there. If you found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. I will link the article in the description below so you can have a look at everything that was being spoken about by 𝗕𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗪𝗀 as well. And if you are new to the channel, why not subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Don't forget to join us down in the Discord server, and until the next one, have a fantastic day.